Tokenization has been talked about on this channel for a long time, and I think that Wall Street should talk about tokenization almost every single day, even though it's now taken over the institutional side of things. We know that the biggest players in the game, like BlackRock, are putting all of their money into tokenization. The craziest thing about all of this is that we are now at about $15 billion in on-chain TVL around the tokenization market. When it comes to tokenization, we can talk about a lot more than $15 billion. The normal general targeted market is in the quadrillions. I've already said that. We are only seeing a drop in the bucket, which is why I keep telling you guys that tokenization is almost certainly going to become a much bigger issue. This will be everywhere. In a few years, the $14 billion, $880 million display will show this wide range of things. This will quickly grow to be worth trillions of dollars on the chain. That being said, we have a lot to talk about in the meantime. All of you are welcome to the group. My name is Johnny. It's possible that some of you who are new to the channel will become subscribers by the end of this video. Also, check out Caleb and Brown again if you haven't already. The link will be one of the first ones in the description just below the exchanges tab. This could be the best choice for you if you're in the US and want to use cryptocurrency. It is fully regulated, 24/7 customer service. I have dealt with Uphold support many times, not a big fan. However, Uphold has been a great chance for us here in the US as well. What about Caleb and Brown? I've been really liking them lately, and many of you have been saying great things about them too. So guys, if you do want to try this other option, you should, test the seas a bit, check to see if you like it. I'm sure, but you might not be. But this is something I'm sure you guys won't be disappointed with. Check them against each other and let me know what you think. Now that that's out of the way, let's dive in. You now know what tokenization is. If we use stock markets as an example, that's fine. When we look at stocks, the ones worth the most, about $70 million, have been turned into chips. That's not even close to an institutional budget of about 534 million goods, or 1.12 billion. Private points worth about 11.81 billion. Then outside of that, you see 121 million international bonds. There are definitely a lot of things connected to a number of these areas. I mean, that strong coins have been big, but if we look at what's really going on here, there is a lot more money for us to aim for. There are, however, still things that are stopping us from going after huge amounts of money. And I feel like all of that change is about to happen. Let's skip this one. We have here today Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev asking the SEC to change its rules for investors and let startups use justice tokens. Because of that, again, this could be very interesting. All the big gamers are now waiting in line. What do I mean when I say that? Well, the next day we saw BlackRock's Larry Fink again. In other words, let's move everything back to 202 on December 2nd. When Larry Fink talked about tokenization for the first time, it was during a bad market and no one was listening. I think BlackRock is still fully behind tokenization this summer. BlackRock is definitely working on making a tokenized stock market. I'm still not sure what their plan is for that. Not a lot of people have been talking about that, but they just said it on CNBC the other day. I'm bringing this lower back up because it has once again shown you how things are beginning to change. So BlackRock started this story in which he said, I want, and this is Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, he wants the SEC to quickly agree that bonds and stocks can be turned into tokens. Look at this. You know that I'm a big fan of crypto, blockchain, and tokenization. I mean, I need the SEC to okay tokenizing bonds and stocks out of the blue. Now, Ando said that he is happy to be at the forefront of a huge change in the world economy. I'm going to go back to that. The power of BlackRock is something I want to talk about here, though. Going back to the Bitcoin ETFs, they got those ETFs accepted almost right away after filing for their Bitcoin ETF. I've seen this happen more than once. Gary Gensler went so far as to say that he no longer wanted to accept them. He said something like, hey, pay attention, I didn't need to approve them, but I didn't want to. You will do what BlackRock tells you to do because of the way their play is set up. They're one of the big ones. Now, BlackRock said this, and then Robinhood, called a few days later for the SEC to change rules about investors so that startups could use fairness tokens. Although we're on the edge, I think we're about to see one of the biggest changes in tokenization, especially now that banks can store crypto and digital property. I feel like this whole market is about to blow up in a big way, but we have experienced this before from Rwanda, the same website I was showing you guys over here. Robinhood, CEO of Latin, says that tokenization is a step forward in technology compared to the stock markets we have now. People around the world are tokenizing, and the US shouldn't fall behind. In this case, it's about his whole breakdown of tokenization and why the US should make up for lost time. I think that's a very good size. You men are welcome to go look it over and study it if you think it's necessary. I'm not going to waste your time, but this was a great post. This was also a great study. If you happen to be in this area, outside of this area, let's go back to those posts. So good luck to those who are happy to be at the front of this seismic shift. We know that for people who are already working with the BlackRock's Biddle Fund or build funding case, you need to call it that. Because of that, that is a really cool link. We just recently learned that Ando did team up with Ripple. This means that G will be added to the XRP ledger, and we have almost direct quotes from the CEO of Ando. I'm excited to work with Brad Garlinghouse and the rest of the Ripple team to add G to the XRP system. We're all working to improve American management and tokenization by focusing on compliance, liquidity, and innovation that meets the needs of institutions. No more Wall Street right now. We've reached that part. Because we can tokenize the stock alternative, that's one of the most important things to point out. The deal in stocks might be on chain. All of the future of stocks, bonds, and stocks is on the blockchain through tokenization. That could be a lot of people. Today, we also have bullish over here. In just 2 years, the tokenization of real-world assets has grown by 85%. High yields on treasuries and rules made by the Trump generation may push for even faster growth in 2025. At the very top of this, Zid wrote a great post about this and called it the American Crypto Renaissance. It only took 1 week for the Trump administration to turn Washington from crypto's biggest critic to its strongest supporter, putting the American flag on the cutting edge of new money technology. Things went well with tokenization, and this is why. Cryptocurrency has been regulated in a gray area up until now, so no one knew if a token was a safety, a product, or something truly unique. The business world asked for new models, but the Biden administration's unwillingness or lack of progress in Congress stopped any progress from happening. Then Gary Gensler's SEC came along. Gins has said that every crypto asset was definitely an unregistered security.